Rock Guys would like to welcome our friend Joe Vana, Mecca. Hey, man, what's going on?
How are you?
Great, I'm doing great. How you doing?
It's raining here.
Oh, and that's nice here. It's real nice, you know. Let's go back to the earlier days. When you first started getting into evolved into music and stuff like that and singing. How'd that start?
How did I get into music in the first place?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Started when I was about 27, 28.
Uh-huh.
I had never sang before that, either in bands, in choir, in anything. I came from a musical family, as in my uncle and grandfather, they were all accordion teachers.
Right.
They were Italian accordion box teachers. My Uncle Jimmy was a world-renowned accordion player. So, there was musical guys in my family, but my actual immediate family, nobody played, nobody sang, nobody did anything.
Right.
But I was an artist, so I was doing album covers and things like that. I had done a lot of work with Peterick and other guys that he had hooked me up with here in town, Dennis DeYoung and guys like that. And I did a session for Jim kind of as a lark, if you will.
Right.
It was a thing he had done with Fergie and wrote it with Fergie, so I took it and I sang on it and brought it back, and he loved it. And next thing you know, the week later, I was doing a session for the Beach Boys. So It was that quick, quick.
Cool.
So that was in 95, I think, 95, 96. So I've been doing this about 20 years.
Wow.
But I didn't have the usual trajectory of a lot of guys. They play in grade school and high school, and I missed all of that.
Right, yeah.
For me, it's just been the adult portion of my life. That's it.
Right. Now, the new album, Mecca III. Tell me a little bit about the recording process of this album, because, when I was over the house and stuff like that, that has to be like a year or two, maybe more, who knows. You were still working on it and stuff like that. Can you tell me a little bit about how you recorded the album and where and stuff like that?
Yeah, the musical tracks were recorded in Nashville at Shannon's studio. It's called Off the Grid, and it's a big studio out there. It's a great studio, mainly an analog studio. He's got 5 2-inch machines, a big SSL board, and probably the best collection of outboard gear you'll ever see.
Right. And
all vintage stuff. So we recorded musically that. We recorded as a band to tape. And then I brought the raw tracks back home, just took a board mix of it, took them home, and I would do the vocals at home in my studio, because I like to sit and relax and do it there. And then I like to do a couple takes and then kind of listen to it and hear where I want to go with it, and then do it that way. And I like to just do it kind of in the dark at home and just do it myself.
Right.
I just enjoy it a lot more that way.
Right, yeah.
So I did it that way, and then I sent the raw vocals into Shannon, and then he would run it through all his, vintage stuff to make it sound huge.
Right.
So that's pretty much how we did it. We were very, very committed to not doing a bunch of editing. There's not one drum edit on the whole record. There's not one bass edit on the record. We didn't edit anything. We just, the vocals would be a couple passes just put together.
Right.
But those were mainly, the paragraph had to be a solid take at least, and things of that nature. I wasn't going to make it a big edited mess.
Right.
I wanted it to sound like a band in the room, and I think we got it.
Cool.
Because it was a band in the room recording it.
Right.
It's mainly an analog record, but it's just the digital part is the vocal, and that's it.
Right. When you did Undeniable, which is about 5 years old, when you started working on the new album, was there any goals from the past album to now working on the new album?
Yes. To do everything different.
Right. Cool, and it's amazing. The new disc, Mecca III, is one of the best albums I ever heard. I think I really sat back and listened to it, and it has a great vibe, mellowing sound, and it could put you in a good mood. Yeah,
and it's kind of what it was designed for. It's an AOR album. It's not a hard rock album.
Right.
And I know Andrew's fans on his websites and stuff like that, and a lot of that melodic rock genre is more on the heavier edge.
Right.
I'm more on the lighter Richard Marx edge, if you will. But that's okay. That's,
Right.
for my music, that's fine. I'll embrace it. I'm not afraid of it.
Right.
But the other thing is, I wanted to do an album different than Undeniable, because Undeniable, I really screwed the pooch on that one pretty badly.
Right.
I took some great tunes and some great performances, and I overproduced it to death.
Right.
My producing partners, Chuck Masek and Mark Milano, I think, wanted me to lay back. I kept on adding more synths, and I'd sit at home and I'd work on synth parts and arps and this and that, and I filled up every little nuance of that record with sound, and there was no room in it whatsoever. And I'm proud of a lot of the record, but sonically I wasn't. That I think I ruined it by overproducing it.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure on this one I went back to the basics, and I did more of an 80s analog treatment to the record when records were made right.
Right.
Sonically they're right. And then, but I didn't want it to sound like an 80s record. So that was the whole point.
Right, right. When Shannon got the work to produce the disc, were you working with him with the sound, or you just let him run with it?
No, I was involved, but yeah, it was Shannon's ears. He tracked the record. I brought in the raw musical tracks, the way that I had them laid out with my writers, Bill Steinar, bass player from Survivor, and then Brian Moritz. I write a lot with them, and I did a lot with them on last record as well. So, and Bill also wrote on the first record. So
right.
There's a lot of commonality writing-wise with the three albums. But anyway, on this one, I just wanted to make sure that we stuck to a certain format, if you will, sonically. And I didn't want the songs to get too samey, but I wanted them to have a lot of room sonically, and
right.
We got there.
Right,
yeah.
Right. With the Mecca III, are there any tunes on there that I know they're all your favorites, but I mean, does anything really stand out as a special moment or meaning to you with one of the tracks?
Yeah, I think. Well, I can honestly say all 8 songs have moments that I was really proud of, in the way of that each song had parts of it that were, I think, as good or better than anything I've done on any of the records I've ever done. But I still think Alone is one of my favorite tracks that I think I've worked on.
Right.
And I think Take My Hand was good because that was a real departure for me, a song heavy like that.
Right.
That one I wrote with Richie Hofer from Seventh Heaven. I don't know if you know who they are. They're from Chicago here.
Oh, yeah.
And Richie and I are really close, and it was good that we were able to finally work together on something, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, the song Believe meant a lot. That one I sang the verses, the chorus, and then Tim Akers, my keyboard player, the guy from, he's worked with everybody from Kid Rock to Vince Gill and the Rascal Flatts. He did the vocal on the second verse.
Right.
And he did a lot of the backgrounds with me on the record. And so there was a lot of parts of that album that I really liked. I think the rhythm section was outstanding, obviously, with Shannon and Hungate. You're not going to get any better than those two guys.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I was very happy with all of it, but yeah, there were definitely spots that were highlights for me.
Right, right. Now, your son Joey really, came into his own with his new band, 68 Happiness, and stuff like that. I'm hearing that he's also working with another band in Nashville. Is that true?
Yeah, him and Ethan Forrest, Shannon's son, have a band together called Mira.
Uh-huh.
Actually, they're working on their first record, and what I've heard so far, it's pretty remarkable stuff. So, yeah, I'm happy for them. They're doing great. He did great on the Mecca record, and I had Ethan play guitar on the Mecca record with him as well. So both
right.
of them are on the Mecca record as well. But yeah, he did a lot of the vocal production with Joey. He mixed the record with Shannon.
Uh-huh.
And he's the associate producer on the record with Shannon.
Cool.
So, yeah, Joey had a lot to do with this record and played a lot of the guitar as well. So he was really, he really did a lot on this record.
Right. Now, with the Mecca III, there's 8 tracks on the album, I think, and
right.
Are you still working on new material as we speak?
I'm on my way to a writing session as we speak right now.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So can we expect another...
I would like to I always keep writing. I don't like to be too stagnant when it comes to writing. As well as recording, I like to do that in bunches to keep the sound cohesive. But yeah, writing, I never stop.
Right. Did Andrew McNeese have any input in anything towards this album, a timeline or anything?
On Mecca III
Yeah.
or Mecca IV?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I'm going to take you off speaker here. The rain's getting harder.
No.
No, Andrew, what I did with him with this record is, I wanted him to take it because if I went to Frontiers or some of the other labels that I had been with in the past, it would have been thrown in with a lot of these, I call them singer CDs, where they grab a bunch of old demos, they throw a bunch of guys in a room, they just, they get the music out real quick, mix it, have the guys sing at it, throw them a couple $1,000 and off we go. Here's a record.
Right.
And I don't want to be, doing, that's not the kind of thing this is, obviously. So I didn't want to be tossed in with that. So I decided to let Andrew have it. And, we do it ourselves.
Right.
As far as his involvement in the records, he didn't write anything or anything like that. Yeah. But I would send him tracks, let him, and he'd give me his opinion, what he thought of things, and which, always helps me. And the track listing, he helps me a lot with that as well.
Right.
To make sure that flowed the way. But the nice thing about the track listing is lyrically it all goes together, so it fit the way I wanted it to fit.
Cool.
But he's always an invaluable ear for this because he lives the stuff as much as I do.
Yeah, definitely. Back years ago during Melodicrock Fest, you had some health issues. How are you doing now?
Good. Yeah, those are pretty much all done.
Uh-huh.
I worked over the last couple of years to get that resolved, so it's all gone, and I'm doing fine.
Right. Will you be playing any live shows?
I get asked that in every interview, and every interview it's the same answer. I don't know.
Right.
Us not playing live isn't because of health issues or because of any reason, just because I don't like doing it.
Right.
I'm one of the rare singers that doesn't want to sing in front of people. I don't want to stand in front of a group of people and sing. I like to do it. I like the creation process of it more than the preparing it and then going off and presenting it to people, or better yet, going out and singing and being in front of people and performing.
Right.
I'm more of a creator and I'm a singer. The performer is not what I put as my, top on my list of things that I'm really good at. So, and it could just be, bad cases of stage fright, whatever it is, I don't know. But I've been lucky enough that we sell enough records that I don't have to worry about touring to do that, to accommodate that.
Right.
Will it happen? It might. I don't know. If it does, it would probably be the mid to end part of 2017.
Right. Are you writing any material for any other musicians right now?
No, I've been, over the last couple of years, I've been really strict about just writing stuff for myself.
Right.
And I work with friends on their records and stuff like that, but nothing where I'm really going out there and, as they call song plugging them to other artists. I've been trying to stay away from that the last couple of years.
Right.
I've been pretty selective on that. I like to keep the material to myself because, again, I know what I want it to sound like when it's done, and I've given songs to other artists like, Fergie Frederiksen and people like that have recorded my material, and, it's never the way I hear it in my head.
Right.
Which is kind of strange. Fergie did a great job on that track, but, I would have taken it in a different direction, just purely artistically I would have taken it a different direction.
Right.
So that's all it is. So instead of myself getting all wound up on it, I just keep stuff myself and then I record it.
Cool. What are the plans for the rest of the year?
Right.
I'll
be writing a lot. I am going to start working with some other writers that I haven't written with.
Right.
Which we can talk more about later, but that's going to be interesting, to say the least. I'm going to break out of my comfort zone on the artists that I'm writing with to kind of change the way that I'm writing. I wrote with Jim for so long, and now I've been writing with Brian for a lot of years, and I've been wrote with Bill Steiner for a lot of years, and I want to kind of branch out, because I think as a writer, if you keep writing with the same guys, you end up getting stuff that's fairly samey in the way it sounds. and I want to move into a couple different directions, and I'd be better off doing that with some other writers.
Right. Well, Joe, congratulations. Mecca III, I think comes out in about 2 days, right?
Yeah, it comes out on Friday. It's already being packed up, and it's getting ready to be sent out on Friday. So that's the limited edition ones, and then those are going to come from Australia.
Right.
And then the regular ones, after the 14th, those will be coming out. They'll be shipped out of the United States.
Cool.
So yeah, those will be coming. Those will be shipping out as of by the middle of next week. So
right. Wow.
Off we go.
Cool.
It should be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. Like, congratulations.
I'm just
once
surprised
again.
how fast.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just surprised how fast we sold through the pre-release discs that we had earmarked.
That's great.
So we flew through those, and I was pretty surprised. So, but yeah, everything's gone well.
Cool. Well, congratulations.
And I do appreciate you guys have been behind me for many years. So
always. I mean, you're like family, like you said. Last time I contacted you, it just feels natural to me. And it was great. It was great.
Yeah, and have you guys go out, listen to the stuff, see where it's at, and yeah, it's kind of that's the way this industry kind of is now. Since the market's so small for us, that we all know each other.
Right.
And I think that's a good.
Definitely. You like to say anything to the fans out there?
Well, again, I appreciate all the support that we've had for the last, 15 years, and I do anticipate they'll like this record, but I'll just keep my fingers crossed.
Great. Thanks a lot, Joe.
I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later, man. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.